The diplomatic hall of the Centauri station gleamed with bioluminescent panels, casting an ethereal glow across the assembled delegates. Representatives from 47 species filled the amphitheater, their varied forms creating a tapestry of galactic diversity. But in the back row, partially hidden behind a crystalline pillar, stood Princess Isabella of the Vixarian Empire. No one noticed her there. They never did. Marcus Reed adjusted his Earth Federation uniform and tried to focus on the treaty negotiations, but his attention kept drifting to the solitary figure in the shadows. She was striking. Her skin shimmered with an opalescent quality, and her elongated limbs moved with fluid grace. But what caught his attention wasn't her alien beauty. It was the profound loneliness in her posture. He'd seen that stance before, on himself. Actually, during his first year at the academy when everyone knew him as the mining colony kid and nothing more. The session droned on for 3 hours. Marcus watched as various ambassadors approached the Vixarian delegation, a group of imposing military officers with decorated carapaces. They spoke in harsh, clicking tones, completely ignoring the princess standing mere feet away. She might as well have been furniture. When the session finally adjourned, Marcus made a decision that would change everything. He crossed the hall, weaving between clusters of chattering aliens, until he stood before her. Up close, he could see the intricate patterns that danced across her skin. Bioluminescent freckles that pulsed gently with her heartbeat. Princess Isabella Jathir Vas Vixar, third of the royal nest, Marcus said, pronouncing each syllable with careful precision. It's an honor to meet you. She froze. Completely and utterly froze. Her bioluminescent patterns stopped mid-pulse, her secondary eyelids half closed in what Marcus's xenobiology training suggested was shock. For a long moment, she simply stared at him with eyes that held the colors of a nebula. You... Her voice emerged barely above a whisper, musical and strange. You spoke my name. Yes, Marcus said, confused by her reaction. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I practiced with the phonetic guide in the diplomatic brief, but Vixarian has those harmonic undertones that are really difficult for human vocal cords. No one remembers my name. Isabella's words cut through his rambling. In 3 years of diplomatic missions, across hundreds of meetings, no one has ever remembered my name. Marcus frowned. That can't be right. You're royalty. You're literally in every meeting's official roster. They remember my title. Her patterns flickered with something that might have been bitter amusement. They remember Vixarian Princess. They remember my military escort. But my name? She shook her head, a gesture she'd learned from observing other species. I am invisible furniture, a political necessity. The Empire sends me as a gesture of goodwill, but I have no authority, no voice. I exist to be present and silent. Understanding crashed over Marcus like a wave. In the galactic community, where power was measured in military might, economic leverage, or technological advancement, a ceremonial princess with no real authority was indeed invisible. The other species didn't bother remembering individuals who couldn't affect outcomes, but that wasn't how humans worked. I'm Marcus Reed, he said, extending his hand in the human gesture of greeting. Junior diplomat, Earth Federation. My favorite color is green. I'm terrible at quantum chess, and I have a habit of remembering completely useless details about people. Isabella stared at his hand for a moment, before carefully placing her 3-fingered hand in his. Her skin was warm, almost fever-hot. Why? She asked. Why would you waste cognitive resources on someone like me? Waste, Marcus laughed. That's not how human memory works. We can't help it, really. We're almost pathologically social creatures. We remember names, favorite foods, that time someone mentioned they liked a particular shade of purple. It's not strategic. It's just who we are. That seems inefficient. Probably, But it's also why humans threw a galaxy-wide fit when the Centauri tried to enslave the Delphine colonies. Nobody else cared. The Delphines had no military, no resources worth mentioning. But humans remembered that the Delphine ambassador once said their children sang to the moons. We remembered they were people, not assets. Isabella's patterns began to pulse again, faster now, cycling through colors Marcus didn't have names for. The entire galaxy thinks humans are dangerously sentimental. We prefer empathetic, but sure. Marcus grinned. Look, I know I'm just a junior diplomat and you're royalty, but there's a reception in an hour. The food is supposedly terrible, but I heard the observation deck has a view of the Horsehead Nebula. Would you like to not be invisible together? For the first time in 3 years, someone had asked Princess Isabella of Vixar if she wanted something, not demanded her presence, not ignored her existence. Actually asked. She struggled with the unfamiliar concept. I would like that. Marcus Reed, who is terrible at quantum chess. Fantastic. And hey, maybe you can tell me about Vixar, the real stuff, not the diplomatic briefs. Like, what's your favorite food? Do you have hobbies? What's it like growing up royal? Isabella's patterns exploded into a cascade of startled colors. You want to know about me? Of course. You're interesting. I am functionally powerless in galactic politics. And I'm the son of asteroid miners who only got this job because I aced the xenobiology exam. We're both pretty unimportant in the grand scheme of things. Marcus started walking toward the reception hall, and after a moment's hesitation, Isabella followed. But that's the thing about humans. We think everyone's story matters, even the invisible ones. Especially the invisible ones. As they walked through the crystalline corridors, Isabella began to speak, hesitantly at first, then with growing confidence. She told him about Vixarian poetry, about the gardens of her home world, about the weight of being seen but not acknowledged. And Marcus listened, remembering every word, because that's what humans did.